Well, thank you again, all of you, for being here. Welcome to all of you who are on YouTube. We so appreciate your participation, and we feel your energy, and we love your comments. So let's do what we do here. Let's turn within for prayer. All right, everyone good with that? Let's do that. Let's turn within for a moment to remember that God is one life, one whole, perfect, complete life that indwells, that lives itself in and through all creation. It is my very life and being, my very breath, my very heart beating, my very life itself is an expression of that one divine life. And beautifully, not only is this the truth for me, this is the truth of everyone who is here, everyone who is online, everyone who we have in our lives and outside of our lives, and everyone that there is and everything that there is an expression of this one. And so right there at the center of everything is this divine essence of perfection and wholeness. And so we come together today to lift that up, to remember that, to know that, to live that. I am so grateful for this awareness, so grateful for this truth, so grateful for the way it plays out in our service today. In gratitude, I release this word, I let it be. We establish it together with the words, and so it is. Yes, thank you. I'm Reverend Gregory Toole, and we have from our board, actually our treasurer, our money man, Vincent Tipaldo, coming up to give us our announcements.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Winds have died down a little bit, but nice and sunny, clear day, huh? A lot going on as usual. So I'm going to start off with letting you know that our Labyrinth Walk is happening today, right after this service in Richelieu Hall, and all are welcome. The last day to sign up for Reverend Mary Morgan's class, Self-Mastery, is tomorrow evening. The class meets from 6 to 8:30 on Thursday evenings, and a flyer with information is on one of the activity tables. And that's a certified Science of Mind class, right? Yeah. Our next teen workshop will be this Sunday, April 6th at 11 a.m. during the service, and that's led by practitioner Maureen McKinney. Check out our first Art and Craft Expo this Sunday at 12:30 p.m. in our parking lot. It's the part of the parking lot that's kind of slightly up the hill, and it's exciting because this is the first time we're doing this. We encourage you to support the local artisans and small businesses that will be there. There's going to be plenty of variety of handmade products, and I hear live music, so check it out after the service. Our third session of the South Bay Soul Seekers is this Saturday, April 5th at 10 a.m. Adults will learn breathwork for beginners by Sacred Roots Breathwork, and kids will learn self-love through creative dance, which is similar to ecstatic dance, by Beetroot Dance. All adults are welcome, and you don't have to be a parent or bring a child if you want to attend the adult session. Come see what the South Bay has to offer. This is a donation-based event, and no one will be turned away. The Men's Spirit Group will be meeting tomorrow, Monday, April 7th in the lobby. And I know we get to sort of say that a lot, but I just wanted to throw in this time the definition for the men's group in case you're not in it and you're hearing about it for the first time. So the Men's Spirit Group meets to explore friendship and fellowship, as well as the science of the mind teaching and how it relates to their lives. The group produces wonderful ideas that translate to good things for our center, and they would love for you to join them. On Thursday, April 10th, Elaine Yazuki is leading a Spanish language study group from the book This Thing Called You from Ernest Holmes. It's at 12 noon and it lasts for 1 hour. Our monthly ecstatic dance is next week, Thursday, April 10th at 6 p.m. with Ryan Aguchi and Reverend Gregory. Our first divine dining this year is Candy's Tea Party, Welcome to Paris, and will be on Saturday, April 12th. And there's a flyer in the activity table, and you might see that there's a beret and an Eiffel Tower, so you can't miss that part of the activity table out there. Our annual membership meeting will be on Sunday, April 13th after service. There's a lot going on at the annual meeting. We encourage you to attend in addition to the election of 3 open board positions, we're going to be voting on a new set of updated bylaws, and that's the laws that kind of just run the center, and it's important to get a lot of participation on that. So stay tuned for more information on that. For a full list of activities, see the weekly e-newsletter, and Spirit Speaks magazine is on the activity table outside. Visit our bookstore for a hand-picked selection of books and gifts to enrich your spiritual journey. And a big thank you to all the volunteers. We really appreciate you so much. Our guest speaker is Reverend Greg.
I'm a guest speaker here. Thank you so much, Vincent. That was beautiful. That was perfect. Doesn't Vincent have an amazing voice? He has a great voice. So good to be here with all of you, and thank you all who participated in my installation service. It was like everything I ever could have wanted, and then some more on top of that. It was just so perfect, so wonderful, such a delightful evening. So thank you for being a part of that. It wouldn't have been the same without you. So today I'm talking about, what's the exact title? One word. The power of one word. The power of one word. And one of the ways that this title came about is on Monday, I was eating at one of my favorite vegan restaurants, and I've been starting to frequent there, and so they know they know me by name there. You know, it's like Cheers, you know, Gregory. And so I was leaving there, and as I was leaving, I went to open the door to leave, and it wouldn't open. And so the woman who knows my name, she's like, Gregory, push, right? Push. And I was picking up on her energy, but what I was hearing her say was, like try harder, you can do it, right? So I keep on, I am pulling the door, right? I am pulling the door, and I'm not hearing the word push. I'm just hearing try harder, right? And I'm like, well, there's a mat here and it's in the way. And she's like, push, Gregory, push, Gregory. And I'm like, I'm trying, it's not happening. And then I heard the word, oh, push. And of course the door just opened totally, right? So that's like the difference one word can make, right? You know, one word, one little word change, and it's like the moment I pushed, whew, the door opened. And it was so funny because it's like communication as well, right? Like thought she was being so clear, which she was, in saying push, but I wasn't hearing the word. I was feeling the energy, because the energy was like she was really like, you can do it, Gregory. I know you can do it. It also reminded me of a Three Stooges episode where, you know, with the antics of the Three Stooges, they're trying to sneak into a press conference, right? And so everyone that's going into the press conference has their credential, right? And they're going in showing their credential, press, and they're all going in. Well, the Three Stooges decided to take the knobs off of a vending machine. So the first guy goes in, and he's got the knob, and it says press. He's like, press, and they wave him in, and then the next guy goes in, press, and they wave him in. Well, the third guy got him in trouble, because the third guy had a button that said pull. So they're like, press, pull, and they're like, hey, wait a minute. And of course, got them thrown out of there. So one word can make a big difference. So I want to read you something that's slightly long, not real long, but slightly long, from Ernest Holmes, related to the power of our word and speaking our word and doing spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer. So here goes from the Science of Mind textbook. It says, if we doubt our ability to give an effective treatment or affirmative prayer, we should specifically treat ourselves to remove this doubt. So we can treat about the treatment, right? We can pray about the prayer. Like if you're having doubt about even whether your prayer, you know, that your word has power, you can treat about that, right? You can speak your word about your word, right? So he says that we should say something like this, but not necessarily these words. I am convinced that this word has power, and I firmly believe in it. So this is before you even do the treatment. You're like getting yourself ready for it. I trust it to produce the right results in my life or in the life of the one whom I'm using my word. We should work, he says, not with anxiety, but with expectancy. In other words, remember, our word has power, so we should be working with expectancy. He says, not by coercion, but with conviction, not through compulsion, but in a state of conscious recognition and receptivity. We do not have to drive or push, but we must accept and believe. We should then leave everything to the law. Right? Because there's this law, this creative medium that's always receiving our word and bringing it into manifestation. He says, leave everything to the law, expecting a full and complete proof of our faith. We shall not be disappointed nor chagrined, for the law is our faithful servant. Yes? The law is our faithful servant, and we know here the power of our word. We know here that when we speak our word, it makes a difference. We know here, and this is why I want to get into the power of one word, because sometimes we just have to shift one word to get ourselves back on track, right? Sometimes we're a little off track, and we just have to shift one word, and I wrote down several of these here. For example, someone says, I'm not very strong. Well, we can really just shift that to, I am strong. And that makes all the difference in the world, right? Because our mindset starts to create that reality for us, right? It starts to create that reality. It starts to have us not being strong. It starts to create scenarios where what we're demonstrating is not being strong. And just taking that word not out and saying, I am strong, starts to create a whole different reality. So many different ways that we can do this. I love that so many people are playing pickleball now. I really don't love it because they're taking up my tennis courts, but my tennis courts. But I love that many of these people were people that say, I don't play sports. If you would have asked them before they took up pickleball, many of these people say, oh, I don't play sports. I've never been athletic. But pickleball is very friendly to people who aren't necessarily athletic or have played sports. It's fairly easy to pick up. I mean, sure, like anything else, I'm sure to get really good at it takes some effort and work and practice, but pretty much anyone can play. So there's all these people I know that are like so into pickleball. You know, there's like so into pickleball, like, and they've got like a whole different way of moving about in the world now. I have a friend from Colorado who, it's okay, Lydia, you can leave it there. It's okay, Lydia. Miss Lydia. Hello. It's okay, you can. So I have a friend in Colorado who never played sports. And then she took up pickleball. And she's got a whole different way, because like now she's like, I play the sport, like she's picked up on some of that little competitive edge that is in sports. Because we play Words with Friends, you know, which is like online Scrabble. And she's got a little edge to her now, you know. She's like, you know, oh, well, when I beat you, you know, and I'm like, what? But it's in fun, right? So it's like that little shift from I don't play sports, I'm not an athlete, to finding this avenue that allows us to be in that venue that we weren't in before, right? It like shifts everything. Now, suddenly, all these people are athletes, right? The pickleball, at the tennis place that I go to, oftentimes there's more pickleball players there than there are tennis players. Which is really interesting to me. And they're so intense. They're like really into it. And they're playing. That's a real shift for someone who had said their whole life maybe, I'm not athletic. I don't play sports. And they've had that total shift. And it's a phenomenon across the planet. Some people say sometimes, I'm old. Right? And it's so interesting because people do that at so many different ages, right? There's people, once they're over 35, they're like, well, I'm old now, you know? And then there's other people, they're like, when they get over 40 or they're over 50 or they're over 60, oh, I'm old now, you know? And the older I get, I'm like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. You can't call yourself old because I'm older than you. So we can shift that to, I am vibrant, I am full of vitality, which is actually a greater truth of who we are, right? The same life, the same vibrant life that was moving through us when we were 18 or 25 or 30 or whatever is still moving through us now. Right? The same amount of energy, right? That's a big thing people ask me, when I turn certain ages, they're like, oh, and they're the same age as me. They're like, oh, do you find you don't have any energy now? I'm like, no, I don't find that. I find that there's this infinite reservoir of energy at the center of my being, and if I'm willing to tap into it, it's there for me. Not to say that the body doesn't change with age, because certainly that would not be true, right? We know that our body shifts and changes. But the idea that we start to buy into this concept of being old, which starts to be this thing, I can't do things, I can't do certain things, it starts to limit us. So it's much better, I think, to say, I am vibrant, I am alive, I am filled with energy, and let that take root in our being. Then we can still embrace if there's something that, when I go on the tennis court, there's probably things when I was 25, I could probably run a lot faster when I was 25, although I outrun a lot of the 25-year-olds, so I don't know if that's true. Why limit ourselves by our thinking, right? Like on the tennis court, I've shared this before, there are people who they don't even try for a shot, right? It's like, oh, that was over there. I couldn't have gotten that. And I'm like, well, why didn't you try at least? Because then you don't know. It's like, as I call it, losing the game in your mind. We don't want to lose the game of life in our minds. If, in fact, it turns out that we weren't able to do something or accomplish something, fine, we could make peace with that. But we don't have to lose the game of life in our mind. Right? By saying before we even try, before we even make the effort, before we even step forward, by already declaring that we can't do something, when we really don't know until we try. I was wondering, as I play tennis and I'm still out there running really fast, like could my body withstand it if I tripped and fell? Because sometimes, ultimately, if you play long enough, because I've been playing straight for 4 years now, and it's only happened twice. One time I broke my wrist, so I'm like, okay, well, that wasn't a great outcome. But last night I fell and got a little bruised, but I'm like, okay, the body can still handle this, right? I did my little roll as much as I could, and, I feel a little bruised right here, a little bruised right here. But I finished playing tennis, and I'll probably play tennis again tomorrow, right? So, one word shift. And I'm going to ask you later when we get into the question and prayer request time and the sharing time. So you might contemplate now, what's one word you could shift in how you're speaking about your life that would be a game changer for you? Some way that you're using a word or words that are limiting, where you could shift that, where you could begin to speak of it in a different way. Because again, we don't want to lose the game before we even get started, right? We don't want to, before we even get out of bed in the morning, to have already lost the game of life that day, right? It's like that prayer that said, God, so far today, I haven't judged anyone. I haven't had any negative thoughts. I haven't criticized. I haven't, all this list of things. But now I'm about to get out of bed. We want to have that morning spiritual practice where we begin to affirm what this day is going to be for us. Right? Because I don't know about you, but sometimes for me still, right, if there's things that day that, I'm not looking forward to, or I got to take care of this, I got to take care of that, and then I reframe it, right? I reframe it. It's like, oh, I get to live this amazing life. Like, I get to do those things today. I get to engage my creativity. It's like with some problem you need to solve, right? Like, oh, this problem, how am I going to figure it? And then it's like, okay, I get to engage my creativity today. I get to know that there's an infinite wisdom and intelligence and power within me that is solving this already before I even get out of bed. Like, it's already done in the mind of God. Isn't that a shift? You know, from when we start to think of the problem, I got these problems, and we start to feel burdened before we even get up, before we even get started. But what if we could feel uplifted before we even get started? What if we could already begin to feel the confidence of that day, already begin to feel the inspiration in us today, right? Because with the greatest thing about having a problem that you don't know the solution to is that you will figure it out. That's the greatest thing. So we could get excited about it. It's like, wow, right now I have no idea how I'm going to work through this, and yet I know I am going to work through this. Because spirit in me, this infinite intelligence within me, this infinite power and creativity within me knows all things. When Oprah asked Thich Nhat Hanh, how do you deal with stressful situations? He said, we start with knowing that there's a solution to every problem. Isn't that a beautiful way to start? Because that's very science of mind, right? Where we start with knowing there's an answer. I don't know the answer yet, right? People sometimes ask me something like that. Well, how are we going to do this, Reverend Gregory? I'm like, I have no idea, right? But I know we will figure it out. Right? So our faith and our trust and our knowing isn't because we have all the answers right now. Our faith and our trust and knowing is that there's an infinite intelligence working through us, and we will have all the answers. The answers are all right there within us already. It's already figured out in the mind of God, and ours is to surrender and allow ourselves to be used by that infinite intelligence and that infinite power. That's who we are. So we get to begin telling ourselves a different story about who we are. When we wake up in the morning, all throughout our day, begin to reframe, who am I telling myself I am? That's what I want you to think about today. What one word are you going to change today where you start telling yourself a different story about who you are? There was a time when I called myself a reluctant leader. And I didn't mean it in any sort of negative way. I just meant that, you know, some people have always led everything, right? If they're there, they're going to be leading it, right? They're going to be in charge. Like that's their energy, that's their MO. And I have always been a person that I don't have to lead something, but I'm willing to lead. Like if it's mine to do, I'm willing to lead. However, there came a point where I realized putting that word reluctant in there was a limiting word, right? It's like reluctant sounds like you got some hesitation. So I shifted it to I am a willing leader. I am willing to lead whenever it is my time to lead. And of course, that led to for this reluctant leader, it seemed like everywhere I went, I ended up being in a leadership starting from age like 25. I just found myself in leadership roles over and over and over again, simply by being like, I am willing to be a leader as opposed to I am a reluctant leader. Because I'm not reluctant. I just don't have to lead everything, right? If I sit in on a committee here at the center and someone else is leading it, I don't have to lead it, right? They can lead it. It makes it great when you want to take a vacation. When I want to take a vacation, it makes it great, right? Because the place still operates just fine without me. You know, if I needed to lead everything and be in charge of everything and control everything, then it'll be like, oh, what are we going to do? Reverend Gregory won't be here. And he leads everything. It's like, so what one word for you is the word that you could shift today that would change how you show up and change how your life unfolds? Is there some word that is limiting that you don't want to claim anymore, that you're choosing not to claim anymore? Like, I don't need to claim that word anymore. I don't need to say that about myself anymore. I don't need to say that about life anymore. It might be a it might be a way that you talk about certain political parties or certain this or people or whatever. Is there a reframing that you want to do that would be more empowering, that would open up more doors for you? We'll come back to that. Thank you so much for listening today. We'll come back to that. Peace and blessings. So we're going to do our offering. We've got Ruth here, Ruth Wagner, the awesome Ruth Wagner right here. Give her some love. Ruth is here like every Wednesday and every Sunday, and she's in service all the time. When I asked her, I said, I'm speaking this Wednesday. Are you going to be there? She said, well, where else would I be? I love it. I love it. Thank you, Ruth, for your commitment, your dedication, the way you show up. You're a model of service. Thank you. Yes. All right, well, there's so many ways you can give. You can text your gift to 424-379-3733. For those of you online, that's available to you to give that way. You can go to our website, redondocsl.org/donate. You can also use the QR code. You can just put your camera with your phone and scan that. So many ways to give, cash, check, all of that is good. Redondo Beach Center for Spiritual Living. So if you've received something good today, as well as in your participation with CSL, we appreciate your supporting the center and what we're doing here, because we're about some good stuff here, and people's lives are being changed, and hopefully yours is being changed for the better. Hopefully you are transforming your life with us as we are transforming our lives and as we are transforming the world. Thank you so much. Let's do our affirmation together as we hold our gift to our heart or hold our hand to our heart. If you're like me, you give online. You might not be writing a check today. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love. And so it is. Yes, thank you. So we're going to just take a moment for Ruth to move around with the collection basket, and you be contemplating that one word that you're going to shift today. And it would be great if we could get like a lot of sharing. I want to really hear today, what's the one word that you are shifting that's going to change your life? Isn't that beautiful? That we could change one word today and change our life. It's like when people ask you, like, what did you do today? I changed my life. I swapped in a new word and changed my life. Then you get to tell them about Science of Mind, because they're like, what? You did what? What did you do? Oh, I just cleaned the cat box. Well, that's important too. That can change your life. One time I was trying to get someone to cat sit for me and was telling they didn't have cats, and I was telling them about what it is to scoop the litter box. And I said, it's kind of like panning for gold, It's They didn't quite buy it, but Vincent has the microphone, and he will move about the room to come to you. So who would like to, let's start off with your one word. For those of you who have come up with a word that you want to shift there, let's start with those of you who want to share something about that. And I would love to hear from so many of you, because I know that there's how powerful this is. So who's willing to share what's one word? All right, right here, Bill Chin.
So the word I've been using a lot of lately is allow. And for years, there's certain things I didn't feel like I was allowed to do, like eat at a nice restaurant or buy the gourmet snack.
Yes.
But I'm allowed. Yeah, I can afford that. I'm allowed.
And
that's been a big
permission.
shift.
You're giving yourself permission. I love it. Yes, I love it. I love it. Oh, let's go right back here. Sean, let's get the mic to you there.
Do you have an hour? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well.
I've been exercising more. So I guess I'm going to say I'm an exerciser.
All right, yes you are, and so it is. And so it is. Let's go to Ann.
Okay, I was trying to think how to say this in one word. So I came up with a word. The word was hard, and I'm changing it to not hard. It's
I
two
love it.
words,
How
I know.
about easy? I give
Easy,
you one
that's what
word.
I meant.
Easy.
It was hard. Thank you, that is the word I was thinking.
After, the Staples, the company Staples had that commercial where they had the easy button. And after I did a talk one time about, let's stop using the word hard, someone brought me an easy button. So in my office, if you ever need it, Ann, just come in and push that easy button. And it says something, I think it says, when you press the button, that was easy. So you can borrow that anytime.
I will. It's done. Thank you.
Actually, I want to say that I changed from being stressed to being blessed. And there was a singer here that sang about that. And it just hit me. And I do it every day. I'm not stressed, I'm blessed.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
So thank you so much. My word I'm changing today is I'm going from challenge to opportunity.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Sue. Who else? There we go. Cheryl.
Morning, my name is Cheryl. I've fallen in love with the word abundance.
Ah,
It's so nice. It's so good to say. It's so good to
Yes.
hear. So abundance. Thank you.
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Who else?
Good morning to all. I'll just tell you, I'm adding, okay? Adding, and I'm aware, and I'm becoming in more awareness. I realize the whole game is all played in the mind.
Yes.
I'm a
Yes.
golfer, so.
Yes. So
Okay,
you're winning the game in the mind as opposed to losing the game in the mind.
Oh, man, it's so fantastic, okay?
Yes.
Just life itself.
Yes.
Okay? And I'm just glad to be here. And
Thank you. Thank you for
Good
that.
morning,
Beautiful.
everyone.
Let's go to Kenneth right there behind you, Vincent.
I'll use the word travel. For a long time, I was unable to do a lot of travel due to other commitments. Life has changed. As that gentleman said, I have been blessed. I've had abundance. I've had opportunities that just fallen in my hands. So I thank the universe.
So you are a traveler. All right. Yes. 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 One word I forgot to mention in my talk, one word that I shifted actually recently, because for a long time when I was working with abundance, I would say I do enough, I am enough, I do enough, I have enough, right? And there's plenty enough. I would use the word enough, which is perfectly fine, except that I realized recently that growing up, we had everything we needed, right? Clothes, food, place, we had everything we needed, but we kind of just had enough, And I realized that using that word enough kind of kept me in that pattern of just having enough, where I was always like, okay, now I got to do some more powerful stuff, and okay, but then it would sort of snap back to just enough. And so the word that I've shifted that to is plenty. So I just walk around whenever I think of lack or limitation, I think, oh, I have plenty. There is plenty. I live in a plentiful universe. So that's been a little word shift for me that recently that I'm like, oh, let's get off of the enough, because for some people, enough would be a great word, but for me, it just takes me back to childhood of just having enough. It's like, no, plenty. Who else wants to share? Let's go right here to Nancy.
Words. One is the enough that you just mentioned. As I'm walking and I do my meditations and my affirmations, not my meditation, but my affirmations, I say I'm abundant and I have enough, which I need to change to I am abundant and I have plenty.
I love it. We join in on that.
Yeah. And another one is social. I isolate myself a lot.
Yes.
And I am choosing to be more social.
I love it. I love it. Can you say, I am a social butterfly? Try that on. I am a social So we got to be radical with it. That way the subconscious knows that something has shifted here, right? Like, I am a social butterfly.
Okay, one word that I've been saying that I really love is I'm radiant health. And instead of being tired, I'm radiant health all the time.
I love it. I love it. Beautiful. Who else? Who else wants? Right there in the back, we've got someone in the middle. All right, Vincent. Yeah, you don't need to go to the gym today, Vincent.
Hi. The one word I think is good for me is open.
I love it. I
Just
love it.
open.
Open is a beautiful.
Open for it all.
Yes, open.
All the good.
Yeah, open is such a good word, right? Like that reminds me of the word willingness as well, right? Like being willing, you know? Like some people say with forgiveness, it's like, oh, I don't know. I say, okay, well, are you willing to forgive? Okay, maybe you don't know if you're ripped, but are you willing to forgive? And they say, I don't know. And I go, well, are you willing to be willing? And I don't know. Well, you're willing to be willing to be willing. Okay, yeah. So any little bit of willingness will help.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We are sons and daughters of the Most High God, so
Yes.
we can do everything.
Yes. What's your one word today? What are you shifting today?
Share in the neighborhood where we live, make a difference with your next door neighbor.
Yes. Thank you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Make a difference with your neighbor. Yes. Who else wants to share something? Anyone? I love all the word shifts here. It's powerful. Can we feel the shift happening right here already? When someone raises up to make that sort of shift, it shifts for all of us. Margie.
Good morning. Thank you for everything and always being so positive. I'm going through not so happy times now. My daughter's quite ill. And I would love prayers said for her. She's having another procedure today, and for them to find the right medication.
Yes.
So my new word is healthy, happy, healthy, happy.
I love it.
When I wake up, I'm sad. But I say those words over and over, and then I allow myself to get out of bed. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Margie.
I
Remind me of
appreciate those prayers.
Yes, remind me of your daughter's name again.
Cheryl.
Cheryl, yes.
And she's having another procedure this morning.
Okay.
And I do hope it goes well and it will make a difference in her life.
Yes. Thank you. We stand with you in prayer, knowing that something divine and perfect is taking place for her right now, that healing is taking place, and we'll include her when I do a prayer. So one final chance for anyone who wants to put your word in. All right, we got Beverly here and one more up here, and then we're going to go into prayer. Got Beverly.
What I learned this whole last year, and it's 2 words, divine timing.
Ah, yes.
I just love that so much because it's
yes.
complete, it's trusting, it's knowing, divine
Yes.
timing is so
Yes.
helpful for me.
I love that phrase too, divine timing, right? Because sometimes you're like, nothing's happening. It's not, divine timing. It's all in divine timing. Yes, let's go over here. Yeah, right there next to you. She's a reluctant speaker because she didn't reach out for it. She was like,
Yes, my
we're
name
not
is
claiming
Lynn,
that for you now.
and I've been going through a patch where I've allowed doubt, fear, and worry to creep in, and in my mind, I know those are the enemies of what we believe in science of mind, and I've been feeling vulnerable, so my word is protected.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yes, and so it is. Yes. We are divinely protected. We really are. All right. Yes. get the mic over there to Sue.
What do you think about joking around about things like, I joke around about my nose and about being old. And like Bettina was kind enough to allow me to borrow her folding bike, which I've taken to the mountains the last 3 Saturdays. And it's heavy, it's about 35 pounds, so I find some nice young gentlemen, and I ask them if they can help me, and I tell them I'm not as young as I used to be. Do you think that in your mind that can start playing?
Yeah, I think I never want to go into like superstition, right? Like, oh, you can't even make a joke, and oh, you just ruined your life. You told a joke and you ruined your life. No, I never want to be superstitious about it. But when we have a pattern of saying something over and over again, that's where I would caution, right? Because it does start to play in the mind when we say over and over again these things, right? Like we joke about, oh, I'm old, I'm not as young as I used to, oh, I'm old, I'm old. It does start to be something we're affirming. So I would steer away from that and find other ways to, like I could say like, oh, I'm accepting more help now, right? Like I'm accepting more help from the universe. I'm accepting more help from others right now. I don't feel like I have to do it all myself anymore. You know what I mean? Something that doesn't put you in limitation, it just puts you in, I'm open to getting help now, right? But, work it however you want, but yeah, that's my take on it, is we have to be mindful of when we start to repeat something over and over again, it does start to be something in our subconscious that is bringing that forth, and we don't want that. Thank you. That's a beautiful question. All right, so we're going to close with prayer. And who else has prayer requests? And we're just going to lump them all right in there. Go right ahead.
My brother passed away.
Sorry to hear that. What's your brother's name? Morgan. Was that this week? Last week. So sorry for your loss. We're going to just bless Morgan's soul journey and bless. Yes, and we're going to bless you and your whole family and just hold you in so much love. Yeah, absolutely. Other prayer requests?
First of all, thank you for the prayers and the support you've given. It's been wonderful. I'm having difficulty managing symptoms now, and I'm going to the doctor today. So just please know that I will find a way to manage this and wait till May 15th for my surgery. Thank you.
We will join you in prayer, Ann.
Can I say one other thing?
Another prayer request?
It's my sister is going through Alzheimer's, and I'm cherishing the moments that I had with her.
Yes, thank you.
It's so important to think about what we got from them.
Yes.
In our lives.
Yes,
So
thank
we
you.
have to look at the good part of everything.
Yes.
And be mindful of what we tell ourselves, because we are going to believe it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Any other prayer requests, Bettina?
Yeah, I would please again pray for peace.
Absolutely.
Peace in the world and peace in this country, and maybe specifically Saturday's march is coming up, so if we can just put a lot of peace and
Pray for peace. You got it.
stuff there. Thank
Peace.
you.
Peace it is. All right. Let's turn with him for prayer, and I'll rope anything else that might be on you. There's infinite intelligence we're working with here, so that, like the scripture says, your Father knows, your Father, Mother presence knows what you have need of, right? So we're gonna any prayer request that's in your heart, we're gonna pray for that as well, even if you haven't spoken it out loud. Yes. All right. Let's turn within. Just remembering, first of all, that there is just this one presence, this one power, this one infinite intelligence, and that this one love, this one presence of love and harmony and wholeness and peace is the very presence that is indwelling each one of us and everyone that concerns us. And so it is in this consciousness that I speak my word. I know that Morgan's soul journey is so blessed that he is surrounded by love on this next leg of his soul journey, so embraced in love and light. And so we just bless his journey, knowing that his family, that there is just the presence of the divine is so around and within them that love and peace comfort them in their grief. I know with Anne that all that is going on with her health, that there is a divine activity of intelligence, of love, of wisdom that is moving through her and around her. It is touching every cell, every organ, every function, and lifting her up. I know this to be the truth of everyone else, including Cheryl, who are dealing with any sort of so-called health challenge, that there is a divine idea in the mind of God, a perfect idea in the mind of God of our body temple, and it's never been diminished or touched at all by anything in this life. And so I know that that divine idea is brilliantly expressing forth. So every cell, every organ, every function is vibrant with this rich life that is God's life. And if it needs to be called healing, then healing is taking place. And there's an opening for a new fountain of life to spring forth for each one right here and right now. I know that whatever anyone and everyone is working with right now in their lives, that the presence of God is bigger than it all, that there is an intelligence working through it all, there is a love working through it all, and it is all somehow being woven into this beautiful tapestry of this life that is unfolding, our soul evolving into the greater and the greater. I bless it all. I call it all good. I am grateful. I let it be, and so it is. Thank you all so much for being here today. I had fun. I hope you did too. Blessings. I'll be around afterward. Thank you so much.